Yeah, we can start without him. Who's got a question? Who wants to raise their hand? Who wants to be the first victim? I mean, first person up. Oh, David got it. Sorry, Toast. We'll
Sad.
get you next, Toast.
I think mine's gonna be fairly quick. Some things I'm noticing as I'm trying to like enter stats and stuff. We're actually at almost 100% in Valorant. It's crazy. But anyway, um, when I'm having to go backfill, a lot of times I'm noticing that not every player has the exact same gamer tag in every game. Is there ever at any point like thinking about? Oh, I mean, I don't know. Oh, so you're laughing. Why are you laughing at me?
Oh, we're
I'm not
laughing
having
because
a
we know.
Okay, I got because it's very yeah. So I just didn't know if like there was any kind of a thought or plan of aliasing per game or something. I don't know.
um so we went through this maybe like 2 weeks ago. We put in some
Gotcha.
custom format for like groups and names and stuff that you
Yeah.
can put in. So that was pretty cool. But then I know that the league that requested this, I know for a fact that they're going to ask for exactly what you're asking for.
Gotcha.
Which is like if I'm looking at a match page for Valorant,
Right.
uh, it should on like the boxes that we show for like the stats, it should adopt the Riot name for the player as opposed to showing
Right.
their League OS name. It should show their Riot name.
Okay.
Uh, the problem, the immediate problem we obviously have is what if it's Rocket League and
Right.
they've connected their Epic, their Xbox, their Steam account, and their PlayStation account, and we have four to choose from. Which one do we show? Without
Right.
a replay file after the fact, be able to do that. Now we do have like primaries now, so I can show some of that. I'm sure I'll just start sharing because we're gonna jump into this pretty quickly. Um,
Gotcha.
we have it where hold on, I gotta restart Discord.
it's
Okay. Well, good.
it's hilarious because he's on Mac, and
Yeah.
if he shares his screen and then closes out, he has to reboot Discord to be able to do it again.
Oh, that's
Happens all
weird.
the time. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, is it my issue? Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
your Mac OS Discord issue.
yeah. The Discord update like 2 weeks ago completely just took a dump. So and now I have a brand new screen share. It looks like they worked on it because I have completely new interface for this all of a sudden.
Maybe that's the update to fix it.
Yeah, maybe they'll fix it here. I guess. Let's see if this works. Did it work? Share an entire
Oh,
screen.
no.
Next. Click make selection. Oh yeah, they completely yeah, this is brand new. Okay. Yeah, they're using a new screen sharing
Oh, that
API.
was weird.
Yeah, this is wild. Um, let's see. So go here. We'll jump to our new dashboard. So the um new home for all our players coming up here in like the next couple weeks. I anticipate this kind of starting to take over. Um new connections interface for managing all of those different connections. You can see right here I have multiple Epic Games accounts connected, and so one of them is marked as primary. Your first one that you connect is your primary. All the secondaries are alternates. If you've already connected multiple, then it will let you choose which one you want to be the primary one and bring that to the top. So we can put primary if they have Smurf accounts basically, which we may comment on down here. But the idea being um, I could do that. So I could see that happening and working for um, like a Valorant or something else. Um, I don't know if it works in all scenarios though. Uh, Rocket League is going to get weird. Valorant would probably work.
Right.
Fortnite probably won't because people also connect to their
No.
Xbox accounts.
It was
Ubisoft would
been
probably
so
work.
weird. Yeah.
COD would probably work because that's a single Activision, I think. Yeah, or no, because you also connect Battle.net. I
Right.
think.
Well,
I'm
hopefully
not sure
more and
about
more people. Yeah. I don't know.
SF6. Yeah, I hear you. I'm
It's not
just
like the end of the. I mean,
Yeah.
It's very few, and those coaches I just reach out and ask them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, unknown is this," and like there was even one where two of the players week 2 couldn't log into their account, so they had to use generic Glenpool Esports 8 and Glenpool Esports 10. So I'm like attributing them to the right player because he told me who those players were. So the stats are coming into the right player, but um,
Wow, it didn't come through. Um,
it's the Glenpool, the second, not that one. There's some of these I haven't. Oh, you're in the small schools too. The large schools are what I'm cleaning up. Have almost. If you go to the Glenpool, the second, it's all the way down to the right, bottom right. That's the one where I had like, if you look at the screenshot, there's a unknown is actually SWAT, and there was a Glenpool Esports 8 that day and a Glenpool Esports 10. But I know he knows which players those were, so I'm attributing those stats to those players
is there a
correctly.
reason you're not using the API access for Valorant? Oh, I see.
Because
Kids
I
haven't
could,
connected there.
right? Yeah, I haven't seen 2 teams yet that have at least one player. So
Got it.
now here's my question: on a day like that, and they have one kid that has to use one of their generic accounts, is it still going to pull the stats into the right player?
It won't pull them to the right player. So let's say we had one player on this second team over here. You know, like we
Right.
had Sweets connect their Valorant account or the right account.
Yeah.
We have one on this team, and then 3 over here.
Right.
And it's able to basically it's going to use the IDs behind the system to manage and or match the match that was actually played against their
Right.
API. Once you get to that point, let me see if I can pull up one in a different league. We can look at that.
Okay.
Registration open active seasons. See if there's one on here.
Yeah, because I've just been waiting for 2 teams to match up. It hasn't happened yet. So because I
Yeah.
want to see what that API interface looks like.
See if they're playing yet. I don't think they're playing yet.
NECC playing theirs.
Maybe there's preseason over here.
Yeah. They've got a lot of matches to choose from
Yeah.
from Monday night.
Here you go. Here's an example. So this is if it matches it, it will assign all the KDA and all the stats to everyone automatically.
Okay.
If it didn't match them, you'll end up with a bunch of zeros for somebody. And
So then, yeah, so it'll be like the Rocket League interface. I mean, it's the same deal. You're just matching up gamer tags at that point.
yeah. So we have zombie 461, right? And so we're looking for zombie over here.
Yeah.
Which I don't know who zombie would be. So that's
Right.
that's the problem there. But
Right.
our position is typically like you don't connect to your account, you don't get the stats. So
Sure.
it's incentive for them to do that, especially as now stats are starting to permeate a lot of other places in the UI as they're starting to come up. So that'll be a
Yeah.
big thing for our people to come through. So here's another one. Yeah, zombie. But
Right. Which,
yeah.
I mean, the coach would have access to this before the game is finished, right? And then they could match that player up if they knew which one it actually was. Or,
Yeah.
if we don't want them just like adding whoever, but I mean, if it's that player and their username doesn't match.
Yeah, when you do the matching through this interface, it's like a one-time fix-up. It doesn't automatically set this particular
Right,
ID to
right.
that user, so that way you can work with those generic accounts. So that way
Right.
you don't assign that generic account back to that student for the future cases. So then
Right.
that shared account can keep being reused, and you just don't
Yeah.
connect it to anyone.
No,
So
yeah, that makes sense. That's the way I interpreted it. So, okay,
Yeah.
that's good. And then my only other question, not take over the whole thing, was did you have any more thought behind, like when you look at our scoreboards, it's still like weird name city, and is there any thought behind making that team name dense where it makes the match, I'm just calling it the scoreboards page, but you know what I mean, the schedule page look cleaner, like where a league can enforce, like having a field for us where a league can enforce a naming convention. Because again, if I force a naming convention, then everyone's teams are all going to be named the same thing. Because the only way that I can, you know what I mean, that I
Yep.
can change it right now, and that's what I did last spring, but it annoyed a lot of coaches that all their teams were named Enid, or all their teams were named Putnam City, or
Right.
um,
We're moving in that direction. I haven't made any additional progress on the team name formats. Did I show you the
Gotcha.
member format last time?
Maybe. Well, I wasn't. I missed last week, so.
Yeah, I can show you like go like rocket science here. It's my demo one over here. Here's how I have like a member name format. So how our member names displayed on this site. And so I use just kind of like some curly braces, like a given initial. So your given name is Joel in this case. So J.
Okay.
Family name is Stewart. So it'll take whatever it deems is my last name. And then it puts my league tag in parentheses. You can see how that works.
Okay.
So in the site, all of the names now start looking like this, and business, Dr. Stab, JS, so
Yeah.
different leagues. Obviously, they have to, my league tags here and the names. They also have to fill this out, and I have a bunch of different ones you can pull in here. Let's see, like clan tag if you wanted those, like there, and then like there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Gotcha.
So if you wanted to format the member names, now we obviously are privacy, so we prefer just using your league tag. That's our preference.
Right. That's what we would do. Yeah. But-
Yeah, and then but we are going to move to a similar name format for teams and groups as well. So that way we can get some uniformity amongst
Okay.
them. But if you are wanting to do that now, the best way to do that would be to come go to like one of the teams. So I'll take a look at Cookie's team here and head his settings. So up here he has two profiles. He has a team profile. This is the base profile that they are in control of. And then they have a league profile. And if you look at the league profile, this is basically the overrides and all the different
Right.
stuff, right? So if your conference is unique, your conference division regions are unique to your league. So that's your league profile. This is where you can deactivate that team if they're no longer playing in this particular league, but they might be playing in another league. And then you have your profile overrides. And so if you were to make this like, no, not a team, then in the interface, this particular not a team is going to show up instead of Cookie's team. And so you can then save that particular one. And if you go to the teams area over in the settings, you then could lock the names. So you would have complete control over all those names. Now that does mean that you'll be micromanaging
Right.
hundreds of teams, which is not exactly fun.
No.
We understand. So the better thing that we're working towards is going to be that the naming convention. And so what would be your naming convention? I think that is going to be like a survey we're putting out. And
Gotcha.
that's where we've headed down the path of, putting in, let me see if I can pull up. That's not the one. Like the skill level and the color, and then like who put the standard on the end of that? Is that you, Alex, or was that oh no, you guys are going to town on the data set.
No, that was me. That was me. Get
Was
over it.
Okay.
Get over it. It's 3v3 standard, 2v2 doubles, 1v1 duels. It's
Okay.
there for a reason.
Okay.
Don't fight me.
All right, I will fight you. So idea being that this, behind the scenes, this is how you would organize your teams. I guess like a good example of that would be if I just go back to that school I was just had a second ago. They have all these teams. So if we look at like a Smash Brothers, this one they're calling, CS1, which is like their contender series or whatnot.
Right.
What that really should be would be I think these are a club level. Yeah, it's a club level co-ed team. So this would just actually should say just club, and then he should give it a color. So this would be club, red, black, blue, white, or something. And so he'll know then, which is which. How that's then presented over in the NJCAA is going to be up to them. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's all we were really looking for. Something where the coaches can still call them whatever they want. We don't want to like control that. I just wanted to be able to control like just the way the matches look, where it just says town versus town or town versus school name, because some of them are like, Charles Page High School. So like Noble versus Charles Page or Bishop Kelly versus Union, because that's just the same way the traditional sports would have it, And then we could work on it from there for things like chess.com, where we need the username and that. So would it be like different for different? Because like it's going to be different if it's a solo game than if it's, yeah.
It's a team game.
That's
Yeah,
why
I know.
that's why I just thought like team name dense is like the perfect, like it works perfectly with the overlays right now. So if that could just
Yeah.
override the raw, I know it's a lot of work because that's but like if
Yeah.
that team name dense could just be the thing that we and the coaches have access to, but then I could just open up my scoreboard and I only have what, like, I wouldn't have more than probably 30 or 40. I know some leagues probably have hundreds, but still, I would rather just do it by season. You know what I mean? Looking at the scoreboard and just fixing them because most coaches will do it the way we ask. But if I could just easily go through the scoreboard and then open that team, go to team name dense, change it, and then it's good to go. And I didn't change anything for the coach. You know what I mean? They still see their teams the same way they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let me if you can put in our chat, in our private chat with the room,
Sure.
for OUSL, put in what you would like your team format name to look like. Like what would you want it to be? And then maybe drop a screenshot or two on the league sites where you want it to present that way. That will help
Okay.
guide me in knowing where I need to impact the interface.
Gotcha.
And how do we we did rip a band-aid off like about a month ago where we started using that club yellow indicators that lasted about a whole 3 hours before everyone was up in arms over it. So
Right.
I was like, yeah, okay, that's fair. So we rolled that back pretty quickly, realizing it was not a smart
Yeah.
move. So
There's like
now
half
I'm
of our
obviously
coaches that hate that. Yeah.
now I'm
But
obviously
half
very
don't
timid
care.
about making those types of changes on the presentation side of things, because some people
Right.
have done the work ahead of time to set it up correctly. So we don't want to disrupt their flow. So I got to work in a
Right.
system
Well,
that
that's
can be moved
sure.
into as opposed to applying it to everyone all at once. So
Sure. Yeah, that's where I was thinking the team name dense would work well because it's something that no one's used yet, really, because it's a new field. And
you'd be
um,
surprised. There's a fair
okay.
number of people that have used it, that have started using it. So I do like the name dense. But I would probably move into a feature that's like this kind of like team
Right.
name format, and then I would just basically have this be it'll be like name standard is what the current property is called, and that is just it basically looks for the current name as it is, and then but you'd
Okay.
have then the ability to come through and be like, yeah, we want name dense right here, right, and then
Right.
that would show up. I'm saying it's
Yeah,
names.
that would almost have to be like a per season field, which probably wouldn't be that hard. Because like I said, some seasons you'd need, team plus roster, primary starter. I don't know, if it's a solo game or
Yeah,
anyway.
that's why it's not quite as
Okay.
obvious as this. So,
Right. Okay.
if
I'll
you,
get you some. Yeah, I'll get you that information. Thank you.
give me ideas and we can work with it. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks. I'll
Yep.
step out.
All right, Toast. I know you had your hand up at one point, so
Yeah. I only have a few. I sent it in the recruiter chat too with the messages. Are we able to send those yet or no?
You should. I haven't paid attention to a lot of things over there, and obviously a while as we're pressing to get this last little bit of dashboard up and running. If you go to, or where are you at in your program process? Have you created any flows yet, or are you still?
Yeah, I have 2 flows.
You have flows, and then have they gotten approved?
Yep.
So then have you started going through the prospect lists and trying to send a message out?
Trying to. So I can bookmark, which I also don't know where those go. I can't find those. Bookmark request info, and then as soon as I hit the message and choose the flow, it just gives me. It doesn't give any error code. It's just a red.
Red X?
It's an X and an I. So I tried to hit the I for info, but nothing.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. I've seen that a couple times. I will investigate that here.
Okay.
Have you started any flows yet?
What do you mean?
Have you gotten any outbound comms going yet?
That
Or no?
won't even load for me.
If you go to app.legos.gg.
Yeah, I have it up. It doesn't load. It just says loading, but everything else loads. The normal League OS, WEC, CollegeCon, MECC loads just fine. But that gives me a loading loop.
This one does?
Yep.
On LS Portal?
Yep. Like you see up top, loading. That's all that I see. I don't see any folders.
Oh, you don't see any folders. Okay, yeah. So you just don't have any. You don't have any comms open yet. Then, all chat channels here have to be initiated from Portal, that other place at the moment. So
Right, but that happens after you send the message flow, or is that only when they respond?
well, it starts as soon as you send the message flow. But if you're getting that error, then the channel's not being created. So there's
Okay.
an error there. So I'll fix that up, and then that will unlock all this for you. So
Okay, and then bookmarked prospects. Where does that go?
bookmarking prospects, we'll send them an email every week for about 4 weeks, letting them know that they've been bookmarked by different programs.
Sure.
Kind of a roll-up format for them, and then after 4 weeks, it falls off. So we don't want to just keep spamming them forever.
But then
There's
They should
no
be
way
in the
that I can
managed-
see the
they
previous
should be managed-
bookmark
they should be in the
right?
managed tab.
because I had the
Yeah,
previous
yes.
bookmarked and okay,
You
manage.
Yeah, if you go to Manage tab here, you should be able to see the ones that you have bookmarked there.
Yeah, I'll give it a sec to load. Yeah, got it. Cool.
And then that's where you can remove it. So if you haven't initiated a flow with them yet, you can remove the bookmark and just get them off that. Or if you're even more interested in their like top priority, you can go ahead and hit that request more info. Oops, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do you have like a time estimate on how long it would take for my message flows to be operational? Or
I have so many people demanding things from me. I don't have an estimate.
I'm not
Yeah.
demanding. I'm just.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I'm sorry. You don't take that the wrong way. Like there's so many things that need to get fixed up. I don't have a time estimate. I'm hoping I can get it done by the end of this week. I'm off tomorrow for some personal family stuff, and then most of Friday. But then Saturday, Sunday, I'll be jumping back into it. So hopefully by Sunday night, I've turned corner on all this, and we can get that back up and running. So everything else is getting close. So, yeah, I'm aware. It's top of mind for me at the moment. So
All right, that's all I
You're
had.
not alone. Everyone's got the same stuff. So
Yeah.
you guys are all
Yeah.
kind of waiting for the starting line. But I
It was
appreciate you
just-
bringing it in.
Yeah, it was just never responded to. I was just curious if there was a fix that I was missing or something. But all's good. All's well. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Who wants to be next? First person to raise their hand. There we go, Dakota.
Okay, so I
Quick
can
finger.
pull in. Yeah, I can pull in schools. You know, we signed a deal with another league, and they're gonna feed into our league. I can pull in schools from their league. How does the interface work for their coaches if they want to hop between playing games in their super local league and playing games in our league,
which league are they in?
Southwest Michigan?
Swimmy.
Is it Swimmy?
Yeah.
It's Swimmy. So they should be. Do you have one of them? We can just
Yeah.
what are the names of the schools that's been pulled in? And are you
There's
talking
like-
in reference to dashboard, the new dashboard stuff, or in specifically
In
how they
general.
over to my in general?
I imported it through the settings.
Yeah, great.
I,
What was the name of the
posted-
school?
Water. What? The top one. Something's outdated.
It's always outdated. This one was not an urgent update, but let's see if they have any teams. Okay, so they only have teams over here in Swimmy, right? So if they wanted to take this team, let's say, are you guys obviously you're playing Valorant, right? So if we go to their Valorant team, right now, they should be coming through and managing their team members, making sure they have their manager. Looks like Colleen's on there. That's great. A couple more updates here to do all this, but so this team now could be registered for one of your Valorant seasons. The way that is about to happen is they'll go over here to the leagues up at the top, and they'll have Swimmy and Michigan. So they'll select this, and this registration box is what I'm working on right now. So that looks league does not exist. Yeah. So they'll see all the games. They'll be able to see like, oh look, there's some Mario Kart seasons, and it'll be contextual. It'll only show them the seasons that they can actually register for in this middle box. So this is my literally caught me midstream when we jumped over to this. So they'll be able to see at the top, they'll see MySEF. This is the whole registration flow. They'll see how many teams they've already registered. They'll be able to see when it closes. And then they have all of their teams that are eligible to register for that team. They can click register, or they can create one in line, and most of this will be pre-populated. And they'll hit that and go. So everything will basically
And
start
this
from
is
that.
this is out tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and actually, it should hopefully be out tonight. This will go fast. So
Okay.
I have all the data. I
Because I
just
was
got to build it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
hard
we
part's
had-
done on the back end. So
Yeah, we just got our deal all settled with them. So a bunch of their schools are getting kind of pulled in. So, but our registration for preseason closes Saturday. So
Okay.
they're going to be pretty fast to start
So the oth-
registering.
Yep. So the other way is looks like they don't have their teams. Yeah, the teams are not in this league yet. So yeah. So that's the main issue right now, is that the teams are not activated in here. School region. Interesting. So yeah. That's
And
again,
this is
that's why
something too,
yeah.
I think we need to discuss is like, we have like Uper League is another one we're looking to do the same deal with. And there's 3 different conferences in our state that have esports that are looking for the same kind of deal. But I don't know if they should get their own League OS instances, or if I should just have them in our MySEF instance and set them up in conferences, or if they want to manage it themselves. So that's something we'll have to discuss with us and Marty and Cookies and everything. How in the future do we want to manage all that?
Yep. Yeah, but once they get that team registered, let's say they get their Valorant team registered for MySEF, this is where they'll see both Swimming Esports and MySEF will be listed here underneath there, and they can switch between the different rosters for the two leagues. So they share the same team, same players, everything. This is kind of that whole like double registration stuff, which I know is frustrating, and so we're trying to like make this more manageable across the board. Here's an example of like an Iowa team that is a single, they have a single roster here for their Smash Brothers, and they just put all their varsity and JV players on it. We do not recommend this, and I'm kind of not happy that they did it this way, but it is what it is. I know that you've done the same in the past, but you have had varsity and JV teams playing against each other, which makes it difficult for us to like kind of evaluate those things. So that's also another thing I'm not a fan of. We want to get away from that in the future. So it is what it is right now. But here they have a single roster, and they've registered it for both, a varsity season and a JV season. And then each of those, they just use a subset. So you can see the event roster here. This is their JV roster, and then they can flip to their varsity roster as well. And they can manage their ordering and then activate, deactivate, although they don't have those parameters set up on this one. I think they do for, here's like their R6 Siege type stuff. So links outstanding schedule. They see all of their connections in line, make sure the kids are there.
Hey, Dakota, we had a Uper site already. So if they're in the mix, there's already a League OS site that was set up for them. I don't know how far they got with creating schools and everything, but there's one additional you mentioned. Is that right? I think you asked me about another one.
Yeah, there's actually like 3 other athletic conferences. Well, one's a created conference, one's a conference. 2 are conferences that are getting created. One's already created nonprofit, and then there's an actual athletic conference that offers esports that's looking for software that wants to feed into our state championship. So
Okay.
we just got to decide how we want to structure that in the future.
The advent of the dashboard, allows those schools that are in multiple, like in MySEF and in their own regional one, if that's what you're describing, to manage that pretty easily. So I think multiple league sites is okay because they all will funnel into the dashboard for the coach.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was a lot more work for you guys to, if there's 30 athletic conferences and we have 6 regions or something. Or let's say there's 30
Welcome to
instances.
college
and you have-
esports.
Mhm.
College esports for you. You're just acting like college.
Yeah.
And like conference wise, I think there's 180 to 100 conferences just in our state. So, but if you do it state by state, it might become a big pain. I don't know. If it's easy for you to spin them up though, and get them going, and just copy like our base parameters, that might work just fine.
Yeah.
What do you think,
It's-
Joel? I mean, if they're going with a model like all the different athletic conferences in the state.
Yeah,
It really
it's going
depends upon who you want to be like the figurehead, the face of the league from like a commissioner standpoint. If that is a role that you do not want to have, then they get their own league site. If there's ever a chance that they might split off and want to do their own thing and abandon collaboration with you, but maintain, using the League OS software, create their own site. I don't know. I guess there's a couple like kind of nuances. It really depends on the relationship with the league or the conference, I think. So, yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. That's the main thing I had. I wanted to see how they would, register for ours too when I bring them in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, we have a match tonight, and it's done at 10. So I'll hop on at like 10, 10:30, maybe 11 after I grab a beer and then check it out.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on it. And then at this point now, kick the tires, try things. I'm trying to disable or hide things that are not operational. I will get that going a lot more, but that way people aren't confused. So that will all get rolled out tonight. So beta tests can start, later tonight, tomorrow morning. Feel free to go to dashboard and poke around. The things that I would say is off limits at the moment would be the comms area. I know that there are the mine is terrible. I know there's a bunch of like just gibberish that appears right here, and I have funny stuff. I'll get this cleaned up tonight in the match box. The match chat should work in line right here. You just are not seeing the right. I just have gibberish text over here on the left top and right box, but otherwise the match chat would work. So my goal is to get something up and running as fast as possible here, so that this is actually doable, workable for you guys. So
Yep. And what's your timeline for the match chat? We start
For the
the
what?
preseason next week.
For
the match
this?
chat. Yeah.
This is maybe about 4 hours of work to get all this buttoned up. So I'm hoping to get this done this weekend. So, I mean, the match chat still works. Again, everything is workable over on the page, right? Everyone is still using this match log chat over here, doing all this, but this entire sidebar right here is going to get dropped in over onto the comms page. That's going to appear here on the right side. So that entire bar is coming over. Obviously, the match log then is the front and center stuff, but all of your resources, there's a couple nuances, a couple changes to make it look kind of the newer spiffy type stuff, but that is all coming over. What's not coming is obviously this whole match page, match card view. But this is more of like presentation, public facing type stuff. So yeah. So I do have work to do. We'll do a fast first pass on that one here. I don't know if this is where it's at or not.
Yep.
I don't know what the state of the design file. Levi's been working on it. We have some fun stuff coming for that, but that'll probably be maybe next week, I think. I'm not sure what my schedule is right now. So I got to jump back into some bug fixes and things in other places and get them set up. But so open to feedback on ways to improve this. What's slow, what's not working, that kind of stuff. So
for now though, I guess the expectation will be they have to go into here to bring their teams in, and then they'll have to go back to normal League OS for match days.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is to get him in. I mean, I want, again, the idea for this app, for this Dashcom stuff, is to have the coaches and the players do 90% of their work in this
Yeah.
area, and day of, they shouldn't need to go to the league site. They should be going to the league site when they want to look at standings, right? When I'm looking at something, which is, what we have. I don't have links there because it's not in process, but let me see.
And then the schedule, I was testing or playing around with it. And made some fake matches. When you press on the schedules, is that supposed to bring you to the match chat in the middle there?
This one right here.
Yeah.
These things.
Click on those. I would think it brings you to the match chat.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the goal, is that you'll be able to click that and take you directly over to the comms area and drop you right in. Yep. So.
All right. Thanks. Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Who's next? Alpha, you want to come up here and say hey? Jacob was here for a little bit, but Jacob from Ohio.
We can do some more teasing.
What's the chances you can fix my inputting of MMR real quick?
I don't know what your problem was, because I would do this. I think you're hitting the wrong button. Hit 500 and hit the save button right there.
Lame.
If you change it here, and then hit save up there, different. That would get reset.
Lame. Oh, Jacob's back.
For
Oh, and he's gone.
those here, I'll tease this. I know people have been waiting for this for a while.
Did that solve your issue, Cookies?
Smart you.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's what we
And let's
need.
Ah,
So I do claim this is in preview and not functioning yet, but
No, it's looking good. It looks easy to set up, which is kind of big for a lot of things. So now I guess my question would be, if let's say let's take it this route. So if someone were to activate and it somehow misses them for the queue, will we be able to edit things and add them in or remake it, or will that mess things up?
I mean, it depends upon. We'll probably put some parameters on this then, to be like fully automated or not. We could either put the matches into like a previewing mode, and then so you could eyeball it as all the matches are generated. Like in this particular instance, right? Monday 4:00 rolls around, the east slot is going to get generated. So everyone who's checked in for the east slot will get slotted and have a match generated. If it's an odd number, because we're doing 1v1, just two teams, and then there's the extra team. The concept right now is that the last team to activate would just get bumped. They just get deactivated and said, "Too bad we couldn't make a match for you." So then everyone else gets paired up, and let's say we got 10 matches because 20 people checked in or activated their teams in time.
I would say it's for the person that gets bumped, it's probably best to do a random bump if possible. Because there are going to be there's some teams that will wait till last second. I don't know. I guess either way could work, but I feel like a random bump would be easier for us to explain.
Why? A random
I
bump?
mean,
People will
what's going to
accept
happen
it
with a
when we're
random
ready.
bump is someone who's like queues the second that it opens is going to get bumped, and then they're going to whine and complain, and makes
Either
more
way-
sense to do
either
the
way,
last
they're
person.
gonna
Like,
whine
you were
and
too
complain.
slow. Sorry.
Well, either way, they're going to whine and complain, but I can tell you from our experience, people generally prefer to hear the random answer more than anything else. So if anything is going to happen, they're much happier to get it was just kind of a random thing. We can't really control it. You just happen to be the one left out. And the coaches tend to accept that much easier than, well, you were the slowest one. So I'm
So
just
tell
telling
them
you
it's
from our
random, but it's
experience.
because they're the slowest.
There we go. And the only reason why I'm okay with it being fully automated. Honestly, we would probably prefer it to be fully automated. It's just we
Yeah.
need to know if it is fully automated and there's an issue, that we're going to be able to figure out how to either add an extra queue time in there to make up for that messed up queue time or something like that, which if there's a back way to do that, just a
mean,
one time we'll do this, then that's great. If not,
Yeah. I mean, you could come through and just go to that round and manually either add a match to it manually.
okay.
You know, all of the scheduling stuff in our system is just it's just a process to create the matches. Once the matches are created, you can do all the fix up you want.
That's
So
yeah.
yeah.
So that's perfect then. So long as there's a way for us to, like, if there's a mess up in it, then we can go through and force something to happen. Then that's perfect because we had to do that on Jenny anyways. So we're kind of well acquainted with that methodology. So yeah, no, that looks great. I'm excited about it. One other thing, so I know y'all were trying to have every institution inside of y'all's database. Whenever I add an institution, does it add it to y'all's database now?
It does. It's fine.
Okay.
You can keep doing that. Keep doing that until you'll know when I no longer want you to do that, it will stop you from doing that.
I would say probably don't. Well, just give me a route to telling you in case, because I will say we have had a lot of institutions come out of nowhere and ones that we didn't expect. I just added one a second ago.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's fine. It's when you go to like your settings, you go to groups and you're using this create group button. Once we have all of the 2-year and 4-year schools and universities in the system, your league will not get that button anymore because you don't need to create a group. You won't need to. You'll be able to use the import, find external group and just search for it right here.
I would say for the 4 years, that makes sense because rarely will something become a 4-year or will a new 4-year come around these days. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
For 2 years, it's still kind of happening. They're still coming about. So as long as there's a way for me to say, hey, we need this created for this institution, then that's perfect.
Yep.
Because there will be some that will poof up out of nowhere. That's going to happen.
Is going to happen. Yeah, we'll have a process then. We'll work with you so that we know how it goes in. Because when we put them in there, we want a fair amount of the data to be attached to it then. So like their iPad's ID with their FAFSA information and all that stuff, which we can pull from public databases unless they're brand new and don't have that information. But I'm sure they got to generate something. So we'll go through like some sort of process to make sure we have the details on the school set up correctly. Another thing I'm working towards is I know every league was given the ability to have like an alias for group, right? But you guys obviously ran into the issue where you just call your groups members, which is just blowing my mind every time I come to your league. I'm just like
it was so that they could understand, because I can guarantee you if we had it as group, we would have had so many confused people. It would have been,
I know.
It would have been insane. So
I totally get that. You're gonna be able to keep that aliasing, but when we go to like a school page or this college page, this right here where it says member profile is bananas. So the way that we're moving towards is there's gonna be this type/kind. I get to figure out what I want to technically call it, but they'll be able to go in here and say, oh, we are a community college or a college. I don't know what the right one is. So there is a definitive finite number of variations on community college, technical college, 2-year college, 4-year school. Like,
does it? Well, I was going to say, does it need to be that intense, or can it be something as simple as? I mean, like, what do you need to know for this to be a clarification point? Is it enough to know? Do you need to know it's just not a general community team, like to where it's just a group of people that are together, or
it's going to be self-selecting. This is going back to one of the first conversations, which was formatting team and school names in the interface and providing standards. And so when we to make sure that we have a great standard and people don't just misspell things and get it all messed up. If it's a drop down list that they can pick from, we avoid all the issues, right? So if they can come through here and pick, oh, we're a community college, is that necessary to have that? So I'm keeping an eye out on the list, but you can show people this if they're interested. But if they start filling this information out, obviously they're not a high school, middle school, those things. But this list will probably end up being, I'm sure, probably 40 things long by the end of it, which is fine. That's not a problem for me. So I'd
It
rather
might
have
be a
that
little
than
confusing for some, but it's we just need to know. I just have to figure out how we're gonna communicate it. But
I
that's
mean,
fine. Yeah, our alias stuff, the member profile, it's because that's how I think it was initially named for Jenny whenever we were getting that stuff out. So we try to not change it so that people
Yeah.
could understand what certain pieces still were. The only weird place that it shows up is I think there's a spot where it says member profile profile somewhere, and I can't remember. I saw it yesterday, and I was like, "Well, that's
It's in their
interesting."
settings there. Joel just had it up.
member profile. Where was it at?
I can't remember.
In
It
that
was.
type and find area that you were at.
Oh, you were just looking at it? There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Go over to league profile, member profile. That's the only weird spot that I've seen for it, where it's just like, okay, that's definitely.
That's
Anyway.
just a bug. I don't think that is. Let me see if that's on somebody else's. It must be just the schools. Is that on all the leagues? School profile.
No, because they call them member profile.
Oh,
That's why, because it's literally called member profile, so that's why it shows up as member profile.
got it. For school.
Yeah, it's the member profile's profile.
Yes.
Don't you know?
Yeah.
Wait, does that even work? Oh, your group alias I see is
Yep,
member
Is
profile.
member profile.
and
Yeah,
the
that's
group's
exactly.
alias is members.
Yep.
That's funny. Okay, got it.
That's where it comes through. That's the only weird place, but
Yeah.
that's because it's double hitting it. But
Yeah.
okay.
Well, the idea for like that kind is like here, this is a high school. So when we set the high school right here in the middle, it'll replace this group settings. It'll say your high school settings and things. So you'll be able to, the schools will kind of like be able to like self-control their own aliasing when they're outside of your league as well. So that's kind of where we're headed with this.
Well, it'll be perfect for that to kind of. Well, okay. Say perfect, but the only thing I worry about is guides on leading them through what to do. Is if it's self-elected, certain things will then maybe confuse. It will not. Maybe it will definitely confuse people because
all of this confuses people. I don't.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like how we will refer to it. Like, so I'm trying to think of how we will make a guide based around it to help people lead through things if they can change what certain things look like. So if it's no longer member profile for them, and if they change it to something like college profile, then 100% that will break some people's brains, and they will sit there and not know what to do.
Yeah, we're gonna wade into it. I mean, we still have this fall to kind of bring the new version of the league sites to. We're gonna start working on that soon, October timeframe for the new V2 sites here. And as we roll those ones out, we'll start looking at the aliasing and how things are working and what makes sense. And that's kind of I'm setting the stage for if people start working on setting their type/kind of what kind of group are you. That self-selection, if it starts to happen, then we'll be able to utilize that self-selection when we start looking at what the new version of the NJ site is going to look like and say, all right, here's where it makes sense to use your league aliasing. Here's where it's appropriate to use the group alias or their selected kind, that kind of stuff. So it's not urgent right now. They can just carry on. It's not a critical part of this, but it's just another piece that we're throwing out there to start moving in that direction of trying to bring uniformity to a lot of things. So,
I mean, we like uniformity. Again, it makes it really easy for us to direct people and make the guides. right? That's kind of the piece that's helped us. I think that's why our launch in spring was pretty smooth, realistically.
Yeah.
So, is the map working? Well, no, the map shows everybody. You know what would be great is if we could dictate on the map between a paid member or I guess your all's dictation would be a full member or a non-member of
Do you
each.
have
So
are schools on here that are inactive? From your list?
100%, yes.
So
There will, because we're gonna have. It looks like we're gonna have close to 210 institutions this season.
So that would
but-
be, this is 20 per page. So, you have a lot of ones that, because when I show your inactive, you have 54 pages here
Yes.
of 2
And
years.
I think it's showing all. Last time I checked, the map showed all of them.
There's no way it's showing all 1,000 of them.
It's last time I checked. Well, okay, so it wasn't showing all thousands of them, but it was showing inactive and active, but not every single active one was being shown. I didn't bring it up because we have a lot going on, but that's what I was seeing happening, which is why we didn't use it on our. I know we pulled a bracket to pull onto our personal website, but we
Yeah.
moved it off. So if it's working fully now, which I can't tell, it might
This
be.
has
Three-
got to be, there's no way there's 1,000 schools on here. So this is certainly showing just the active schools. It will not show a school that doesn't have their geo location put on it. So if we go to like Central, I don't even know if I can use that. Yeah, go to Central Wyoming. Right. If they don't have this map, right, showing.
I think
'cause
all of them should have, because we had our interns do that. So all of them should have some sort of location.
let's see if I can zoom out and I can get us a number. 231. There's 231 dots on the map.
Okay, so all right. So that's definitely a lot closer than it was last time. I guess we'll see. The only way we found out last season that it was not operating correctly is I literally had 4 institutions reach out to us and say, "Hey, we're not showing up on this map." And I looked and they had their location and they were active.
Did they? Well, you want to make sure, just when you look at their settings for their location, I need the latitude, longitude.
Yes.
So if those were not put in correctly, or if they copied and pasted them in, it may have brought them in as a string, and then like the parsing gets all wonky. So sometimes just looking at it and removing a number and putting it back in is enough to kind of fix it. So just
Okay.
come through, see if the map is working on this page. If it's not working here, it's not going to work on the overview. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we come across it again. I'll probably ask for that code to the map again because Google Maps is not working at all like it's supposed to be.
I haven't updated. Yeah, I haven't updated the embeddable map for this. I should get around to doing that. I'll make a note of that.
That's that one you can put low priority because we have a directory now on our website anyways, which is more of what people are looking for rather than a map itself most of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think at least this page now loads, and like nice and fast.
Yeah, no, that's working perfectly. The back end, the search doesn't work still, but the front end search does, which is perfectly fine because I can get through everything fast enough to where it doesn't bother me. But for the members, this is great.
Yeah, for this, I'll get through this at some point here.
That does, as much as Billy might say stuff, it doesn't bother me. It's like we can do what we need to do, but for the members, it's about making it as fast as possible. So the front end working, that's the more important piece for me.
Yeah, it was hitting some leagues really hard on that load, and it would trickle on forever and ever, and it was not good. So it was a much needed optimization that I've been putting off for too long. So.
I had members actually reach out and they've noticed that. They've noticed optimization because they are like, it's loading a lot faster and working faster for me now. So
yeah, we're going to continue to find ways. We had a huge outage on Monday night with a lot of traffic spike, about a 100x on our, about 10x our traffic on Monday night, and I think we're going to happen again here in about an hour. So I got to keep an eye on things and make sure.
Yeah. Our stuff starts. Well, I'm hoping they get it. Them breaking it down preps up for ours because ours starts on the 30th. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's tonight. What is it? Wednesday night, Tuesday, Friday, Thursday, Saturday. What is today? Say Wednesday.
Well, we also only allow, I guess the difference for us
yeah.
is that they have to be a paid member of the association. So
Yeah.
it automatically kind of reduces the load. Generally, we're not pulling in free teams or anything like that.
I mean, I'm not the load testing is good. I mean, the system is designed to scale. It just wasn't scaling at the right on the right direction, and for the right reasons. So I was looking at the wrong metrics and different things for the scaling, and so that caused some trickle down behaviors, and it overloaded another system, and yada yada. It was a snowball effect, and so I fixed it as fast as I could, and then rolled it back. But I gotta keep an eye on stuff and figure out the right way to get the scaling to correctly work with how we've designed the software. So
Okay.
it definitely was the largest spike we've ever seen on the platform by a large margin, basically. So,
fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. So we'll get it figured out. You can see all the rosters here. It's just an insane number of teams all hitting the site at the exact same time. 425, 3,000 players. It was a lot. It was a lot. So
it's a lot. It's a good test.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's everything I wanted to chat about. I mean, like I said, we're putting along, and we have teams and everybody moving up and getting ready to go. So exciting stuff.
Yep. Another year. Here we go.
Yep. We're doing it.
It is now 5 o'clock. We got any last? Bring you up quickly here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me being stupid or what. It's probably me being stupid. But if I could share my screen, it'd probably be easiest. So my competition rosters that are activated are not equal to my rosters that are actually activated. So if I look here, I've got 12 total rosters activated. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But here in my preseason stage, I have 13. It shows this roster here that is not activated. And in my settings, I've got stage rosters and competition synced. And I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, go save the one on the, when you turn it on, it doesn't rerun the process to do a recheck. So uncheck that active button at the top.
The filter?
Yeah, which is the inactive team it was like. Do you know which one it was?
Yeah.
I think it was the CEHS, wasn't it?
CEHS, but
at the top.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
And so they are.
They're
No, they're not. They're. Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. Go ahead and just hit save on the top right. Sorry.
Oh, so you think it's just that? Nope, still there.
They're still there. Is this
Yeah.
You can just hit edit seeds and deactivate them manually if you want.
Okay.
There you go.
I didn't know edit seeds. I was like, I went to setup and I can't deactivate from setup. I didn't know you could deactivate from edit seeds.
Yeah, I'll adjust that.
Cool. No, I mean it's fine. I just didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
So now, like, I'm getting my matches generated, and like I have to find them and then remove them and all that
That's
crap.
fine.
But it did this in another competition as well. So I don't know exactly what the issue is, but there's some logic weird with the active teams not pulling over correctly.
Go to the stage setup really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And details. Okay, it is set to a single A AAA. Okay, you're fine.
Yeah, I'm bringing over everybody. So
yeah, okay. Oh crap! My soup's boiling over. Hold on.
I'll mess with it. We have more preseason matches this week, so I'll see if it happens again. I didn't have any issues yesterday or Monday. I just had issues today, so we'll see what Thursday and Friday bring.
Yeah, you see the active inactive toggles and stuff happening over on dashboard to make it easier to get your kids and your stuff activated and stuff. Did you see that?
Yes. But are we telling coaches to go there and start using that?
Just hit refresh on the page. If it's an old one, it needs to be. It is in this instance, it is ready to be used. So click on
Okay.
dashboard bottom left. You're in comms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's
Oh,
look like-
I'm in my admin account.
yeah. So then click on the IEN logo or over on the left side under that Overwatch team. Is yours an activation one?
It is for
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Yep. And it's just active right there. Okay.
Yep. So and then if you have the players, do you have one? Is it Tetris that you have where the players can activate? and
Yeah.
direct?
Yep.
You can click on the left. It's just the logo. It's the League OS logo, second from the bottom, alphabetical. Yeah. So click on the.
If
IEN
y'all
one.
see a League OS logo over there, let us know and I can get assets uploaded for them.
So there you can flip your
Yep, cool.
active on the players there as well.
Now, do players have access to dashboard?
They are going to, but they're not going to have all of the bells and whistles. So
Sure.
even-
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll definitely be able to get in there and see their schedule and do the
And
things. right?
activate. Okay.
Yeah. Right now they'll probably see everything, but again, like all the permissions are all server based. So even if they see a UI to edit something and they try,
It
it'll just
won't, right?
yeah, it'll just give them errors, right? It's like you can't do that, right? You guys are familiar with that.
Yep. Yep.
All too familiar. Like you can't do that.
No,
No,
it's
no.
good.
So
I
and then
mean,
the-
honestly,
the-
just knowing that I can deactivate manually under the edit seeds button fixes my problem. I don't really care after that. I always just do a manual check on numbers to make sure they agree. So I'm not real worried about it. But I'll make a video for our coaches to be able to do this too. So
Yeah. So we'll start. So again, like beta test kind of starting tomorrow, and then we'll start getting some videos out next week. I think what we want to do is get some immediate feedback. I know Levi's probably looking for, some more quantified, like, hey, this is good, this is bad. Can we reorganize that? Obviously, there's a lot. We know it's complicated, but imagine the first time you were introduced to the Discord app. How
Mhm.
long did it take you to get comfortable using it? It wasn't 5 minutes. It was probably a couple hours, maybe even a couple days, maybe for some people a week. So,
No, I think it's
time to sink
it's
in.
good.
So, yeah. So
And we're used
the
to
snap
supporting
reactions,
stupid
the
people.
snap
so-
reactions to it. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for like, can this work after you've played with it for 10, 20 minutes? Are we
Yep.
starting to see patterns, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, and I'll share with like specifically some of our better coaches who are more on top of things and have them
Yeah.
give some feedback. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Side note: Landfest ran our first professional stream using all the assets and stuff today. So it was something. Middle school Fortnite, man. Whew.
oh, middle school Fortnite.
We're running our own custom map, and it's got a few things to still fix, but we're getting there.
Custom map. Can you like actually do a map designer kind of
Correct.
thing?
Yep, we're running our own Zone Wars custom map.
Crazy.
Yeah, we are crazy. You should know this by now.
all of you are crazy. I don't.
Um,
I'm not sure who's not crazy out here. So
Yep. But tomorrow's Rocket League, so I'll link the channels. I mean, Cookies watches a lot of them, but I'll
Yeah.
link them, and you guys can use some of those for whatever, because they're getting some pretty high quality casters. He got 72 caster applications
well,
for
nice.
our matches, so it's crazy.
We have been having an internal discussion about your verified streamer
Mhm.
or like kind of stuff. We've had a long conversation, a couple long conversations around
That's
how
what I'm
we
here
wanted
for.
to approach- yeah. So we love solving stupid weird problems. Like it's we enjoy the banter and the arguing behind the scenes. So we do have kind of a path forward we want to move in, but it's not going to happen immediately. So we're going to try and come up with a short-term fix, if at all. I'm not sure. So,
and
but
again,
yeah.
it's not a deal breaker. Like, it's just an idea I had, and I was like, hey, this is something to work for long term. It doesn't have to be an immediate thing. Like I said, we're just going to share a document, and that.
Yeah, just start with that. And then, we do want to have like kind of a streaming module where you can schedule casters and then exactly who's supposed to be doing what and like what
Mhm.
access and resources they can access to. A lot of this has to do with like utilizing official branding as well. So like there are some bigger leagues like the Big Ten where they may not want just some random people streaming with their assets. And so putting in some restrictions around who has access to the overlays, verifying all that type of stuff. So there's a whole like kind of logic tree we got to work on as well. That probably won't be until next spring, is my guess. So
That's whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, things are going well for us. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to all my weird things that I want to do and weird problems that pop up. So,
it's fun. We love it.
all right. Have a good one. See you guys.
See you.